Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week. It was a record turnout for a by-election, and a new school board trustee has the job. A former mayor breaking her silence and comments on that recent vote. Closer to reality, Chilliwack City Council considers zoning rules for an overdose prevention site. And while major junior hockey remains in COVID limbo, there is a national survey on which junior team has the best jersey. Our special guests this week include Dr. Carin Bondar, Scott Fast, as well as the Ann Davis Society. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. And breaking news, the BC Supreme Court Chief Justice Christopher Hinkson dismissed a province's request for an injunction against a number of churches, and specifically in Chilliwack, for breaking COVID rules. The legal term was to try and have these churches shut down for in-person worship. Basically, the Chief Justice has said this is really back in the bailiwick, pardon the pun, of the provincial health officer. Now, while the injunction is not going to go ahead, that does not mean fines won't be handed out. And this is a story that will continue on. Elsewhere in news, over 10,000 people, a record, voted in the school board by-election. This was no ordinary vote. Dr. Carin Bondar defeating Richard Prosy, Adam Suleiman, and Brian Van Gardiner for the vacant seat on the Chilliwack School Board. The margin for a victory for Bondar over Prosy was about 700 votes. Now, the next full slate election will be in the fall of 2022. Now, back to that record vote, 10,700 votes. The old record was in 2015 with just under 1,100 votes. The record was broken 10 times over. chillTV spoke with Dr. Bondar on the win and the challenges she now faces as a rookie on school board. We will have that interview with Dr. Bondar later on in the show. Now, Prosy, Suleiman, and Van Gardiner all congratulated Dr. Bondar on the win. chillTV's Clint Hames, a former Chilliwack mayor and now the host of Hames Hot Mic, praised all the candidates for rising above some of the harsh words and actions during the campaign. And another former mayor, Sharon Gates, also weighed in. Now, she has been very quiet on the public front since she lost to Ken Popoff in the 2018 city mayor vote. Quoting Gates from her Instagram account, "A huge congratulations to Dr. Carin Bondar, who worked hard to earn a spot, to work even harder now. You will bring your wisdom, your humor, and your kindness, and bring even more to the board table, and I wish you all the best. And to Richard, Adam, and Brian, thank you for putting yourself in the public arena for a chance to serve our community. It's tough to not win, but always remember that people stood in long lines to mark your name on their ballots, and they believed in you. And to our community, elections always divide us into political camps. Let's not remain there." On the heels of the overdose alert issued in late January, Chilliwack City Council moved ahead with zoning bylaws that would, in effect, allow for a safe injection site. No one location has been mentioned. This action would be to clarify what would be required by the city to operate. That would include a distance away from schools, supportive housing, and other medical facilities. And in another piece of business, Council looked at allowing wine sales at the Real Canadian Superstore, and that was passed. Chilliwack firefighters and EMS crew were good Samaritans to a number of homeless people during the recent cold snap, including one who is well known in the community and resides near Canadian Tire. His name is James. Firefighters built him a shelter. Fraser Health then assessed his situation and took him to Chilliwack General Hospital for treatment. At last report, he's doing okay. And this brings us to the annual Coldest Night of the Year campaign. Usually volunteers camp out overnight and understand what being homeless is all about in the cold. This year's campaign will obviously be different, and we talked with a number of members of the Ann Davis Transition Society about this year's Coldest Night of the Year campaign. We will have that interview a little later on. It is tax season, and your various tax receipts will be showing up in the mail, and that includes one for the Canadian Emergency Recovery Benefit, CERB. It should tell you how much you owe. CERB was the one that was not taxed when it was handed out last year. Down south, and with the second impeachment and second acquittal of former U.S. President Donald Trump, we had a chance to ask for the thoughts of one UFE Professor Emeritus of Political Science, Scott Fast, on what he thought of this latest exercise. His interview is coming up shortly. Don Lehn, chillTV and News of the Week with Dr. Carin Bondar. So now we get to say Chilliwack School Board Trustee elect. So what's the next step here, Carin? Do you have to put your hand on a Bible to go through this, or is it like the presidential swearing in, the inauguration?
Yeah, there will be. So I will be sworn in this coming Tuesday, the 23rd. That's when the next scheduled school board meeting is. And I'm actually really excited. I'm going to be taking some training even before that meeting. So I've got already my calendar has got meetings and trainings, and I'm so excited.
Well, which brings me to the point that your learning curve right now is kind of like that, straight up.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I love. I love, embarking on a project and doing a bunch of reading. And I'm such a geek, really. I love just getting good at things and learning about them. And especially in this case, I'm so motivated to join the team. It's just great.
The budget will be the first thing that you're going to be dealing with. Obviously, you've had a little more time to take a look at some of the numbers. I'm still a little confused about why Councillor or Trustee Darrell Ferguson wanted a private meeting, although, as I understand it, Trustee Mumford has said everything is out in the open when it comes to the budget. The bottom line is you've got to balance this, or the province has the potential to step in with the Ministry of Education. Any thoughts, or do you have to wait till you're literally sworn in?
Yeah, no, I think definitely I have thoughts, but they will be part of the conversation once I'm sworn in on Tuesday. The budget has gone through its first reading, and that is there will be three readings to come. And so I think we will undertake the second reading this coming Tuesday. It is, I think one of the largest issues with balancing the budget this year has come from pushback over the Learn at Home program and how that is ending at the end of spring break. And I know that's been a really contentious issue, and one that we're continuing to work with families on as well. But the budget itself is certainly a very exciting and timely issue for me joining the board at this time. Yeah.
Since election night, the other issue that has come up was from both the Chilliwack Teachers Association and the BCTF, and that is the Foundation Skills Assessment Test. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's done with grade 4s and grade 7s. So I believe that all 4 of your kids now have gone through this test?
Oh yeah, they have. It's generally part of a normal functioning school year, and I know that again this has become an issue of concern for teachers and for support staff and administrators in our schools who are struggling to meet the demands of COVID at this point. So I know it is controversial, and I don't necessarily think that it is the best time to be embarking on that kind of an assessment. At this point, we aren't really in a normal school functioning year, and I think that resources could be allocated elsewhere.
Well, we're definitely going to be watching what happens Tuesday night and following that with the budget and crunching numbers. Dr. Carin Bondar, Chilliwack School Board Trustee elect. Thanks for joining us. It'll be the first of many conversations that we will have over the next months.
Sounds great, Don. Thanks for having me, as always.
And you're watching chillTV's News of the Week. Don Lehn, chillTV News of the Week, and again in conversation with Scott Fast, UFE, Professor Emeritus, Political Science, and we love talking about what's happening south of the 49th. So here we go. We've had impeachment number 2, which didn't go through because they didn't get their 2/3 majority. What happens now? There seems to be more legal action down the road, but this is not going to be federal? against Donald Trump?
Well, the two impeachments, right, where impeachment, the House of Representatives impeaches and the Senate convicts. In both cases, the House of Representatives impeached, and in both cases, the Senate failed to get the 2/3 majority needed to convict. So, yes, he's not impeached or in any way in that sense whatsoever. There are a number of lawsuits, many pending going back to his various business dealings before he was president, that have been pending and kind of sitting out in the weeds until he stopped being president. Then there are a number of new charges in Georgia about with respect to trying to influence the outcome of the election by calling up and essentially threatening the governor and other people during that crazy period. The city of, there are just a number of them floating out there.
Yeah, I know there were a number of cities that want to be paid for those rallies because of security costs and that. When it comes to making threats to governors and such, now there's this falling out between former majority leader, now minority leader Mitch McConnell, and Donald Trump. McConnell basically saying we're not going to. He voted against impeachment, but he still tried to backhand slap Donald Trump on the wrist. Trump has made his statements now. I guess that bromance is really over, or is it?
Well, no, it's over. But let's recall that everybody who has been Trump's enabler and pal for the last 4 years has been fired, as it were, from many legal teams to, McConnell's going only the last of the people that he's turned on for not supporting him holus bolus, even though McConnell was the one that enabled him in the Senate to carry on and carry on and carry on. I think McConnell in both cases is worried about what the future of the Republican Party, as it were. I think he hung by Trump in part by the past. Well, he still says that, as they're saying this morning, they don't think the Republicans can win without that kind of nastiest core, or however you want to look at it, that most devoted core, essentially Trump supporters.
And we're going to go through this again in, 18 months with the midterms? In 2022.
It never ends. One of the things I think Canadians and anybody else who's been watching can see is that the American Constitution, you can make your claims for it being quite appropriate and understandable in terms of 1776. But as much as James Madison, the author of so much of it, who tried to write a constitution that would avoid factions. In the modern world, as it's turned out, the United States is completely wrecked by factions in the state houses and in the federal government. The Trump surge has put a lot of Trumpist activists into party positions in the various states. Some of those are already looking to change the rules for voting or et cetera, that they think would favor Trump were he to run again, or Trumpist candidates. So there's a real war there, and the American presidential system is not well suited to deal with sharp partisan politics. Parliamentary kind of understood there would be partisan politics and kind of anticipates that reality from the beginning, but not the American system.
Was it me that found it ironic that just the other day, and it had been closed since 2014, that the Trump casino in Atlantic City came down? Is that supposed to be a harbinger sign of what may come down the road?
Well, it was it was a kind of piling on liberal amusement this morning, and I have to confess to being amused myself.
Yeah.
That was a good look for today, given the times.
Scott, as we've always said at the end of our conversations, to be continued. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. I enjoy talking to you.
Scott Fast, political science UFE professor emeritus at UFE, and you're watching chillTV's News of the Week. chillTV's News of the Week, and we are joined by Ann Davis people, Corrin, Skalbeck, and Kathleen Gardiner. Ladies, a year has gone by. We are now dealing once again with coldest night of the year. We just went through the coldest night of the year. This is something that, obviously because of COVID, we're going to be able to do this virtually as well as, dare I say, live in person. And what does this entail? What is the walk all about?
Right. So the walk is virtual. It's happening on Saturday, February 20th. So we're encouraging all of our participants to walk with their teams, walk within their households, do a little solo adventure, walk on their treadmill for 2 to 5 kilometers on Saturday. And then we're going to be releasing an opening ceremonies video at 5 p.m. on February 20th as well. And while we're raising money to address, help the homeless people in Chilliwack, and this is a very serious issue. We've been able to have a lot of fun with this event, and there's some appearances from notable members in the community that you can look forward to, maybe even some can dancing. So we're really encouraging people to tune in on Saturday, 5 p.m. On February 20th to watch our opening ceremonies video and participate. We're going to be live streaming on social media as well, on our Instagram page and our Facebook. So be sure to follow the Ann Davis Transition Society there.
Yeah, we'll be able to see any hashtags that you do for hashtag CNOY Chilliwack. We'll be able to pull your pictures and you'll be able to participate with us the night of and actually see what we see and get out there and experience what it's like to be cold in Chilliwack.
I know in Vancouver, they had, even with COVID, they had a few people camp out in parkades. Are we doing anything like that in Chilliwack or in the Valley, or is it strictly going to be a very tight program?
We are keeping it pretty tight. We are really trying to adhere to all COVID protocols, keeping everyone safe. We really encourage people to get out, walk in your bubbles, walk with your family. There's not much COVID safe, family friendly events right now. And we really feel like this gives people the opportunity to get out, go for a walk, see your town, get the experience of helping those individuals in our community and really understanding what it's like. For this week has been the absolute coldest week that we've seen in Chilliwack in a while. And I think that ties into this wonderful fundraising opportunity where we really are helping individuals in Chilliwack, and Chilliwack's helping us help those people.
And especially if you're a woman in need of services, anndavis.org, I would assume is the site to get a hold of and give you a call. Do you have a 24-hour number, or is it office hours? Or if somebody needs to get a hold of you, say at 2 a.m?
Yeah. We do have an emergency phone number. It is on our website at anndavis.org. There's always help 24/7. You can reach out to us through text, through a phone call, as well as social media.
Correct.
And
Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to mention that all of the money that we're raising right now with this night of the year is going to support our outreach services. So our outreach services are primarily working with the street entrenched population, with people that are hurt, hungry, and homeless. And so the money that we're able to raise from this is going to go to supporting those individuals.
Corrin, Kathleen. Yeah, a big thank you to both of you, and the coldest night of the year. This it's going to be an interesting Saturday, but it's going to be a fun Saturday as well. Thank you both.
Thanks,
Don.
And you're watching chillTV's News of the Week. While the BC Hockey League and the Chilliwack Chiefs remain in a holding pattern due to COVID restrictions, their season's still up in the air. However, their cousins, the Manitoba Junior Hockey League, has thrown in the towel and put away the sticks and the pucks. They have canceled their 2021 season. They're hoping to regroup in the fall. Still with the Chiefs, they're involved in a national poll on which team in Canada has the better jersey. So you can go to Twitter or the CJHL for details. Meanwhile, the Pacific Junior League has some brand new news that will affect the Abbotsford Pilots and the expansion Chilliwack Jets. We don't know if they're going to have a season, but Langley, just down the road, has canceled their season for the Pacific Junior Hockey League. chillTV has reached out to the Jets, the Pilots, and the Pacific League for a comment. With football, the CFL grappling with the same COVID restrictions, there were reports that the 2021 season was going to be scrapped altogether, but Commissioner Randy Ambrosie dismissed those rumors that the season is gone and stated that, a June or July start is off the table. Starting the season in August or September is not out of the question. Meanwhile, former BC Lions and former CFL Most Outstanding Player Solomon Elimimian announced his retirement after 10 seasons, including a Grey Cup win with the BC Lions. chillTV weather. After last weekend's deep freeze and snow, it's starting to feel like spring. Rain and highs close to 9, maybe even as high as 11 degrees for this weekend. If you'd like to participate in reporting news in Chilliwack and you have a story you think we should know about, send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. We'd love to hear from you. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn.